Mr. Meyer?
Yeah, this was prepared for us by the Municipal League. And from what I understand, it's the best we can do, and it's right. If all our little towns send a copy of this in to the governor, maybe he will respond, which we really do. We need to send a message to him, and we need to send a message to our citizens that says, hey, we believe masks are a good thing. This is the best we can do, but you got to do your best too. I'm all for it.
Ms. Green?
In speaking with a lot of business people and citizens, it was kind of 50-50 on this. Some wanted it mandated, some wanted it, highly recommended. And I think we showed the citizens tonight that we took them seriously with their thoughts, and, it's unenforceable. And I think when you try to mandate something that's unenforceable, I think you're really asking for trouble, and I think you begin to pit people against people. I think this resolution may not have something for everyone, but I think it shows that we, as the city and city officials, tried really hard to come up with something that might work. And I agree with Butch or Harry, this is going to go to the governor, and if we get enough of these, maybe he'll listen.
Any other comments? Can I get a motion to assign a number and read it for approval? Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I move to assign this resolution a number and read it for approval.
I'll second.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
Mr. McClung?
Yes.
Ms. Harmon?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
6-0. The resolution number will be 779. A resolution by the City of Eureka Springs encouraging the use of masks in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas an outbreak of COVID-19, coronavirus, has resulted in an ongoing global pandemic, and whereas on June 18, 2020, Executive Order 2037 declared that the emergency declared pursuant to Executive Order 20-03 and its amendments as terminated, and that the public health and disaster emergency and declaration of the state of Arkansas as a disaster area resulting from the statewide impact of COVID-19 was declared anew and would be effective for 60 days unless renewed. And whereas on June 19, 2020, the Arkansas Department of Health released guidance regarding the use of face masks coverings by the general public, which asserts that ample evidence exists to support the efficacy of wearing face masks to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, including a study funded by the World Health Organization. And whereas the aforementioned ADH guidance on masks recommends that the general public should wear face coverings in all indoor environments where they are exposed to non-household members, and distancing of 6 feet or more cannot be assured. This includes, but is not limited to, workplaces, retail stores, businesses, places of worship, courtrooms, jails/prisons, schools, healthcare facilities, and other people's homes. And whereas the aforementioned ADH guidance recommends that the general public should also wear face coverings in all outdoor settings where there is exposure to non-household members, unless there exists ample space of 6 feet or more to practice physical distancing. And whereas the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention encourage the use of cloth face coverings to curb the spread of COVID-19. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. The City of Eureka Springs does not attempt to mandate the use of masks/facial coverings, nor does the city attempt to penalize those who choose to abstain from wearing such coverings. However, the City of Eureka Springs strongly encourages all of those who may safely wear facial coverings to do so in the effort to help curb the spread of COVID-19, in particular to protect the most vulnerable members of our state, as well as to ensure that the hard-won progress made by the citizens of Arkansas in reopening our shared economy is preserved.
All right, thank you. Thank you, City Council. Calls for agenda setting. Ms. Harmon?
Yes, I'm thinking maybe it was a couple years ago, or at least a year and a half ago, where this city council reviewed rules and guidelines for council members regarding conduct during meetings, i.e. acceptable language and demeanor when addressing the mayor and fellow council members. Can we add that to the agenda? I don't know if that was just something that you all agreed upon back a couple of years ago, maybe? Or if that was something that was actually written into our,
I will look it up.
okay, thank you.
All right, anyone else?
Is there a second?
Oh, I'll second that. And it's the code of conduct, I believe.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? All right, City Council comments. Mr. Thomas?
Yeah. I did not really mean to make light of my constituency or of the problems some pet owners have. But I am very, very concerned that we are losing respect for people that don't think like we do. The people that did that presentation on fireworks, I thought did an excellent job. I thought they put a lot of work into it. And I'm not going to disparage the work that they did simply because I think that this is not the day or the time. Nor will I disparage anybody at this council table who happens to think differently than I do. It's really inappropriate, and I'd like it to stop. It's very possible to express your opinion and express the opinion of your constituents without dumping on other people. It's unnecessary. It's getting really, really tiresome. Thank you.
Ms. Green?
Well, kind of echoing what Bob said, I am a proponent of the fireworks for pets, but that's not the reason that I voted not to have them. I've kind of gotten over that. And it does bother me that we're not going to have them this year. And it bothers me about a lot of events that we're not going to have. I think our tourism is really good. We're seeing record crowds. I want to keep it that way. I don't want to push it to where we end up being closed, or our restaurants, like two of our best ones, have had COVID cases. I just want to continue on as we are, because I think things are getting good, except maybe, our restaurants are still in phase 2, and that's hard on them. So I do want to encourage people. I mean, it's important to me. It's important as a citizen. It's important as a business person. And it's important for our tax revenue.
Ms. Snyder?
Well, I'm not going to apologize for my Irish temper, because when I see people threatening other people's lives, I tend to get a little upset. So I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that part. And I want to congratulate my daughter-in-law, Carly, my Marine son's wife, on finally passing, after all these years, her American citizenship test. She came here, she's like a DACA, she came here as a little kid. She has finally, as of today, passed her final American citizenship test. You go, girl.
Ms. Harmon?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Bob that some of the conduct that does go on at this table needs to stop. I think that the individuals that voted for each and every one of us to be sitting at this table expect that their council member is mature enough to be able to hold their tongue and to talk in a respectful way to not only the mayor, but also other council members. And if they're not able to do that, then that may not be the person that needs to be sitting at this table. I think every person that sits at this table should be able to conduct themselves in a professional manner. And whether or not you use the excuse of, I've got a temper, or I'm this, or I'm that, that is not an excuse. We're adults here, and we should start acting like it, and many of us do, and we expect the same from our fellow city council members.
Mr. Meyer?
No comments.
Mr. McClung?
I just want to say I'm disappointed with the way the vote went on the fireworks, but I respect, the vote that was taken because that's part of the deal. I think it's just too bad. Hate to not happen. That's all I've got.
All right, I want to thank the City Council for passage of not only our essential resolutions, but also the resolution for the use of the mask. I think it's important for us to recognize that, we're trying to encourage the citizens to do the right thing without going in and mandating by law, and especially in creating authority and laws that the City Council cannot enforce. I think the best thing we can do is exactly what we're doing. We all have the right, and every business has the right to enforce the right of wearing masks. And I think it's so important, especially with this pandemic that's going on, it's critically important that we all need to wear masks wherever is possible, because it's vital to reduce the spread of this virus. And this is one way that is shown to be able to do it. So I'm pleased that the council did go ahead and we got this resolution written and passed, so I can send it on to our governor and to the Secretary of Health for their acknowledgement. And other than that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And do you have